My name is Marcus Hale, 36, architect by day, steady Eddie by temperament. I thought I had life nailed down. A good job drafting rich people's dream homes, a 4-bedroom South End apartment I paid on time every month, and a marriage built on quiet teamwork. My wife, Sabrina, used to be a pastry chef, wedding cakes like architecture and buttercream, until an autoimmune crash took her out of the kitchen. We adapted. I brought home the money. She ran the home. It worked. Or I thought it did. The apartment felt like proof that I was doing something right. Hardwoods that shone like a compliment, crown molding, a view of a tree-lined street where people walked designer dogs and pretended to read novels. I wrote the $5,200 check each month without fail. It hurt, sure. But every evening, key in the door, jacket on the hook, a beer in my hand, I breathed. Mine, ours, safe. Then Claudia arrived. Sabrina's older sister walked into my living room with 2 suitcases and a smirk that said the weather report ahead was hurricane. "Just until I'm back on my feet," she purred, installing herself on my couch like a queen taking a throne. I tried to be decent. Family is family, right? By day 3, I had evidence this was not a visit. It was a hostile takeover with scented candles. She painted my bathroom lavender, without asking. Rearranged my living room because my chakras were stagnant. Spent $340 at Whole Foods on contributing dinner, which apparently meant imported cheese and truffle oil on my credit card. Breakfast conversations became performance art. How nice that you provide, while Sabrina just folds dish towels. Smile, sip my coffee, swallow the insult. Sabrina got smaller each day. Shoulders hunched, eyes down. Like she'd learned the safest place in our home was wherever her sister wasn't. I wanted to believe this was temporary. Instead, Claudia started speaking about our place like it had been jointly deeded by the state. The pitch came on a Thursday night. Claudia sat at my table with my anniversary Cabernet and napkins covered in floor plan doodles. "The living situation," she announced. "This layout is perfect for Mom and Dad. 4 bedrooms, elevator, close to transit. They'll take the master." She said it like she was discussing cloud cover. "And we sleep where?" I asked. "That's the beauty Dorchester. So much more affordable. Cute 1-bedrooms for $1,500. Think of your budget." She glowed like she'd solved world hunger. I said the only sane thing. "This is my apartment." "Of course," she crooned. "But think about the bigger picture. Family takes care of family." What I didn't know was that the bigger picture was already framed. The Springfield house sold, a moving truck penciled in, Claudia whispering logistics into the phone in rapid Spanish while I paid for her kombucha. She'd built a trap out of other people's assumptions. I came home early the following Tuesday with a headache and found boxes, my boxes, stacked like a verdict. Shoes labeled Marcus Closet in Sabrina's handwriting, suits draped over chairs like evidence. Claudia lifted her wine in a toast. "You're early. We're getting organized for the big transition." "What the hell is going on?" "Mom and Dad arrived this weekend. They'll need the master, obviously. They're the elders." She said elders with a straight face in my $5,200 apartment. Sabrina stood in the middle of it all, clutching one of my shirts, pale as ice. I said her name. She opened her mouth, closed it. Claudia stepped between us like a bodyguard. "She's in a difficult position," she said. "She wants what's best for everyone." Translation: surrender quietly. It was, to use a technical term, insane. And it was working, because I kept trying to be reasonable while Claudia never did. I walked to the hall closet, slid out the red binder, our lease, and felt steel return to my spine. My initials, my signature. My name alone, Marcus Jeremy. Hale, tenant of record. "You want my apartment?" I said. "Take it. Don't forget the rent." The smirk cracked. I tucked the binder under my arm and walked out with my keys and briefcase. No suitcase, no toothbrush. I checked into a boring airport hotel and slept like a man who'd finally closed a door. In the morning, I drove to my parents' place in Cambridge. My dad read the Globe, made a non-committal grunt about politics, and said, without looking up, "Parasites only thrive if the host tolerates them. Stop feeding them." So I did. Our lease was month to month. I opened the management portal, filed a 30-day termination, and let bureaucracy do what shouting wouldn't. No subletting allowed, no roommate protections. After 30 days, anyone inside would be trespassing. The system pinged a confirmation email like a bell at the end of a round. Sabrina texted, "Where are you? We need to talk." I ignored it until I didn't. We met at the cafe on Newbury we used to love. She looked wrecked. Messy ponytail, no makeup, the fragile energy of someone living in a storm cellar. "I froze," she whispered. "She's loud. Mom believes her. I didn't know how to say no." "You didn't try," I said. It came out colder than I meant, but I was done translating my boundaries into pleasantries. I thought, maybe Mom and Dad could help. Maybe I'm not pulling my weight. Claudia had turned self-doubt into a lever. I told Sabrina the truth. I filed notice. Lease ends in 30 days. Color drained from her face. "You can't." "Already did. Claudia can keep the apartment and the $5,200 rent. But my parents, they sold the house. They don't have anywhere to go." That sounds like a Claudia problem. The next morning, my phone rang at 8:14. "The manager says we have to vacate," Claudia shrieked. In the background, boxes thudding, a wail that had to be her mother, someone swearing in Spanish. "You can't do this." I already did. "They have a moving truck on the way." Then they should have confirmed with the tenant before planning a parade. Silence. Then the small, tinny voice of someone discovering gravity. "This isn't over." It is. I hung up and finished my pancakes. 3 days later, Sabrina called again. Not panicked. Hollow. "They're gone," she said on my parents' front steps. "River Street Motel. Dad's furious. Mom cries. Claudia says it's temporary, but they have no money." She looked at me. "I let them erase you." "Why?" "Because it was easier than fighting her." She swallowed. "I chose wrong. I believed her. Or I wanted to." "My parents have a guest house," I said. "1 room, tiny kitchen. If we try again, it's reconstruction, not rewind. Ground rules." I listed them. No uninvited family. No spending my money without asking. No rearranging anything I paid for. And no neutrality while someone dismantles our life. "Yes," she said instantly. "To all of it." We didn't call it reconciliation. We called it demolition and rebuild. Meanwhile, word traveled. The Rodriguez trio bounced between an extended stay and a 24-hour diner schedule, collateral damage of a plan built on wishful thinking and other people's wallets. 6 months later, I put a down payment on a smaller Beacon Hill condo. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, a sliver of common in the window like a promise. The deed had one name. I furnished it deliberately, piece by piece, like building a sanctuary with permits and inspections. Sabrina hung one picture, our honeymoon landscape. Nothing else went up without a conversation. We went to therapy, learned words like enmeshment, triangulation, and boundaries. Turns out family helping family can be camouflage for control. Sabrina started cooking again with joy, not